My beloved, I see you now no matter where you are, perhaps resting, traveling quietly, or simply moving about your day. Understand this truth. You are guided to this realization not by mere chance. This is more than just words you encounter. It is a sacred moment meant for you to experience. Everything around you has paused, as if held still, so that a profound truth can be shared with you. It is time for you to know everything. Have you ever felt that your deepest desires seem unheard, that your inner fortitude is tested while others appear to move forward with ease, that paths you seek remain closed even as others find open ways? My dear one, you are not imagining these feelings. You are not forgotten, and you are certainly not being overlooked as if something were wrong. You are being prepared for your rightful place. Stop the world's rush. Be present with me now. What you sense within you at this moment, that stirring deep inside, that warmth spreading, that feeling in your being, this is not just emotion. This is my spirit confirming that this message was always intended for you. Your path has been guided to this precise point, not in the past, not in the future, but now, because this very instant is the designated time. This message is not general. It is not vague. It is specific, deeply personal, and reveals what is to come. It has been entrusted to be shared with you, for the one who has borne significant weight, for the one who has quietly sought answers through many nights of watching. Listen closely now. The divine rhythm is shifting. Opportunities from above are becoming accessible, and this is not a distant event. It is unfolding now. And indeed, you were specifically chosen to grasp this truth before the next phase of spiritual growth occurs. Look within, can you feel it? That subtle energy, that sudden sense of peace, that quiet voice in your soul that urges you to pay attention? That is confirmation from the divine. That is your inner self remembering something I have never forgotten about you. If this understanding resonates within you, acknowledge it now. This moment signifies a divinely appointed new beginning. When you acknowledge this truth, you are not just engaging with words. You are aligning yourself with what I am about to release into your life. It is your first step of agreement with what is destined. But before I reveal the truth that I have placed in my heart to share, a truth that will illuminate your struggles, your pauses, the weight you have carried, I wish to acknowledge the connection we share in this moment. Your presence here is valued beyond measure. Your willingness to listen makes these words resonate and reach into the quiet places of hearts across the world who have felt alone in their journey. Whether you simply receive this understanding or share it with another, know from the deepest part of my being, I am thankful you are here now in this space. It is just you, me, and my spirit is here with us. All of heaven is attentive. Unseen helpers are drawing near. Your entire journey has led you to this point. Your purpose is now within reach, and I am saying with absolute clarity and certainty, your appointed hour has arrived. So, are you prepared to receive what I have longed to tell you all along? My chosen one, I say to you, it is time for you to know everything. My beloved, have you ever entered a space and felt as though something unseen was anticipating your arrival? Have you ever paused, sensing within you that your life held a deeper purpose than you could fully comprehend? What if those feelings weren't just instinct? What if they were spiritual affirmations? This isn't just a message. It is a divine interruption, a sacred calling right now. Everything that sought to divert your attention, every fleeting distraction, every clamor from the world, had to yield because heaven has declared that now is the time. Why do you think the challenges you have faced were so specific to you? Why did it feel like life pressed down on you while others seemed to float effortlessly? Could it be that your path required intense heat, not to break you, but to reveal your inner strength? Is it not possible that you have arrived at your significant place precisely for this moment? This was not just the destiny of another in ancient times. It is yours. You were not merely born. You were placed with intention. Heaven did not send you here randomly. You were assigned a purpose. The weight you carried was not punishment. It was preparation. The intense heat was not meant to consume you. It was meant to show what within you could not be destroyed. My chosen one, what if your entire existence has been a sacred training ground? Before you were formed within your mother, I knew you. Before your birth, I marked you for a special purpose. That truth is not merely beautiful language. It reveals destiny. Do you feel something stirring within you now? That is not imagination. That is alignment with your true self. Look at your hands. These are not ordinary hands. They were designed to build what others lack the vision to perceive. Look at your heart. The depth you possess is not frailty. It is divine structure. And look at your experiences that left their mark. What others might call damage, heaven calls design. Let me ask you this. Have you noticed how strongly you feel things? How the world's unrest affects you deeply? Or how you sense events before they happen? You have been different throughout your life, not because something was amiss, but because something was profoundly right. You bear a unique calling, signifying your life was never meant to mirror anyone else's. And that explains the periods of solitude, the pressures, the constant inner striving. But you are not alone in this. A similar journey has been undertaken by others in the past. Some spent extended periods in isolation, not because they were forgotten, but because they were being readied. Some faced betrayal and confinement, not because divine promises failed, but because the vision required pressure. Some chosen for leadership had to seek refuge, not because they were abandoned, but because they were being refined. Even those who witnessed incredible divine power sometimes felt overwhelmed and wished to cease their efforts. So, my chosen one, could it be that what felt like being left behind was truly a part of a larger divine design? These figures were selected not for simple lives. They were chosen because they could bear significant weight, and so can you. Do you honestly think it's merely chance that your journey has seemed so difficult? Or is it divine evidence? The opposition you faced was not random. It saw the potential within you. It perceived your future potential once you understood who you truly are. That is why feelings of disappointment, betrayal, sadness, and weariness became tools used against you. The opposition was not afraid of your past. It was terrified of your future. And yet you are still here. Why? Because heaven preserved you. While you were wondering if your deepest longings were ignored, unseen helpers were dispatched. Not one of your cries was lost. They are held as something valuable in the divine presence. Right now, as you receive these words, a spiritual threshold is being crossed. The time of silence has lifted, and I am saying you are ready. But are you ready within yourself? Can you sense it, that feeling of anticipation, that stillness filled with profound meaning? That is not apprehension. That is activation. You are being called into divine alignment. The season of waiting is over. This is not just inspiration. It is instruction for this moment. Consider this for a moment. Have you ever sensed a quiet feeling of being watched? Not out of fear, but a sense of presence? That was the presence of those who watch over you, your heavenly witnesses. Your life has consistently been watched, not by judgmental eyes, but by unseen spiritual entities and powers. Why? Because you matter deeply. A truth is declared, rise up and shine, for your inner light has arrived, and my presence rises upon you. That is not a gentle suggestion. That is a divine command. Your light has come forth now. The question is, how will you act upon the light or potential that has now appeared? Will you continue to diminish yourself, to doubt, to hesitate? Or will you finally step into what has already been established for you? Every closed door was a redirection. Every difficult experience was a hidden opportunity. Every path that ended was not failure. It was refinement. The time for remaining hidden is over. You were not created to lessen your inner radiance just because others prefer darkness. My chosen one, the upcoming moments have the potential to deeply change the direction of your life path. The period of indirect suggestion has concluded. The moment for clear divine understanding is present. So I ask you, are you prepared to accept something that has been set aside for you for a significant duration? Why has your life carried such significant weight? Why have you felt so little understood, so distinct, and so unlike others, even among those close to you? Could it be that what you perceived as difficulty was actually revealing destiny? What I am about to share is not just an explanation. It is a revelation, a lifting of a veil, and once it is lifted, nothing will ever feel quite the same again. This truth has been deliberately shielded from you, not because I wished you to be unaware, but because the opposition feared what you would become if you ever saw clearly. It feared the moment of awakening, this very moment, and that moment has now arrived. Let me ask you something direct. Have you ever felt as though your trials were unusually challenging, as though you were born into a spiritual struggle, as though each attempt to advance was met with resistance before stability could be found? That is not coincidence. That is not misfortune. That is not weakness. That is your unique designation. Before your first cry, before you were held by human hands, before your name was spoken in this world, heaven already knew who you were. You were not simply chosen. You were marked for a specific purpose. What if the experiences that brought you sorrow were actually sharpening your ability to discern truth? What if the pauses and delays were my way of protecting you from paths that would have led to harm? Have you ever sensed something within your spirit that your mind could not explain, as though you could feel dishonesty, as though you could see beyond appearances, as though you noticed patterns others overlooked? That is not unfounded suspicion. That is a heightened awareness of what is real. That is part of being set apart. Look at your life now. Haven't there been times when help arrived just when it was needed most? When a moment that seemed like chance saved you? When divine power filled you when you felt most weak? That is your unique designation being evident. Heaven was never absent, though silent, as the moment for this revelation needed to be precisely right. The enemy perceives the significance you hold, even if you do not yet fully understand it. That is why your early years may have felt turbulent. That is why feeling excluded may have followed you. That is why you have wrestled with feeling too much for others, because you carry a significant spiritual weight, and the enemy has tried from the start to persuade you that your profound nature is a defect, when in reality it is your divine mark. Have you ever been surrounded by people and still felt a sense of being separate? Had insights no one else understood? Experienced a depth of sorrow that resided within you unseen by others? That is not isolation. That is being set apart for a sacred purpose. You are not ordinary, so your life cannot be either. Even now, some of you receiving this may feel a warmth within, tears welling, a sensation on your skin. That is not merely an emotional reaction. That is recognition. Your spirit is saying, "This is my truth. This is who I am meant to be. For the gifts and the calling I place upon you are permanent." Heaven never withdrew what it placed within you, even if life attempted to obscure it. Let me share some examples from the lives of others. Proof that being set apart does not always appear glamorous, but it is always undeniable. Stop measuring yourself by what others perceive. Cease questioning your own worth when others fail to comprehend you. Stop withdrawing because others do not recognize your inherent worth. The divine realm is aware of you, and this has always been true. You are a people chosen, set apart for a sacred purpose, belonging to me in a unique way. That is not a future possibility. That is your reality now. Even what you perceive as imperfections were woven into your mission. Some who led had difficulty speaking clearly. Some were orphaned. Some were held captive. Yet all were elevated to fulfill their purpose. Why? Because what seems to disqualify you in human eyes magnifies you in my sight. At this very moment, my chosen one, the understanding of your purpose is becoming clearer. Assignments once hidden are being revealed. The unique designation you have carried since before your birth is now being activated at a deeper level. Can you feel the intensity of this transition? That is because the timing has shifted. What is coming will necessitate recalling your authentic self, not the person shaped by trials or defined by others, but the one I created you to be. Therefore, I must ask you, speaking from the heart of eternal truth to the core of your being, are you ready to step into the destiny that has always been set aside for you? Are you ready to stop concealing your depth and use it as your inner guide? Are you ready to guide others, even if it means traversing a less common path for a time? Are you ready to enter spaces not seeking approval, but bringing transformation? Because accepting your pre-birth designation means you can no longer live a life that is less than your full potential. No more retreat, no more hesitation, and no more apprehension appearing as carefulness. If an inner sense is stirring within your spirit at this moment, if your heart beats strongly and your soul affirms this is truth, then I call you to a meaningful action. Declare it. Speak it aloud. Write it down as a personal vow. Let the words resonate in the air around you. I receive this truth. I was set apart, and I will walk in my purpose. Because, my chosen one, this is your moment. The divine realm did not merely hint at this. It arranged every event in your life to guide you to this point. A place of understanding, recalling, and freedom. The unique designation has always been there, but now it is being activated. Will you finally embrace it? My chosen one, there is a stirring in the spiritual realm right now, and if you feel it in your being, in your very breath, it is not merely in your thoughts. It is in your calling. You see, the unique designation upon your life is not abstract. It is real, and it reveals what is to come. And in this season, it is being activated in ways that will surpass your expectations. Paths that were completely closed, paths that generations before you could never traverse, are about to open wide. Support that seemed forever unavailable is being divinely provided, and the purpose you sensed from youth, which felt so far off and impossible, is now present and ready to be embraced. But accompanying the state of being set apart is something seldom mentioned by most: accountability. You have been given greater stewardship because you were made to bear greater burdens. This is not a burden of hardship. It is a sacred trust. And while others may navigate life with minimal effort or shallow pursuits, you, my chosen one, are expected to meet a greater measure due to what the divine has placed within you. Have you ever paused to consider why your journey appears more difficult compared to others? Why you seem to walk through intense heat while they move through pleasant spaces? Why the pressures, the expectations, and the heartaches seem to visit your life more often than most? It is not because I forgot you. It is because I am depending on you. You are not random. You are not overlooked. You are not simply a product of your circumstances. You are a product of divine intention, and right now, heaven is not asking whether you feel ready. The question resounding through eternal time is this: will you finally enter into the fullness of who you were designated to be? Be honest. You have likely looked at others and wondered, why does my life feel heavier? When you carry spiritual weights that others would collapse under, when you help hold families together while your own heart feels broken, when others relied on you but never gave back, you kept going. But why? Because you are not merely a barrier. You are the foundation upon which others can stand tall. I know you have been misunderstood. Your strength has led people to believe you did not need support. Your consistency caused others to overlook your weariness. But here is the truth. The world could not perceive what heaven sees. The burdens you bear, the insights you share, and the trials you have overcome all indicate your divine nature. Let me tell you something that may be difficult to hear but is essential to know. This is the mark of being set apart. This is the reason your inner self never completely aligned with the world's norms. This is the reason you consistently felt like an outsider, even among your closest relations. This is the reason you perceive details, feel nuances, and carry burdens that others nearby appear not to grasp. You are not flawed. You are set apart for a unique purpose. You were not built to blend in. You were built with the capacity to guide, to bear burdens, to persevere, and to ascend. When I need someone I can trust with sacred responsibility, I call upon you. When crisis arises, when challenges emerge, and when no one else has answers, somehow people consistently look to you. But here is what they do not realize. The very strength they respect was shaped in solitary times, during nights spent reaching out to me, in personal battles witnessed only by the divine realm. Now allow me to pose a concept that may provoke a strong inner response in you. What if every tear you shed in private was never wasted? What if the heartaches, the betrayals, the pressures, the quiet pleas in the night? What if all of it was preparation? What if you have been building the character and trustworthiness required to carry a blessing so significant that it could not be rushed? Now, my chosen one, look at your own life. Can you finally perceive the pattern? The difficulty was not random. The periods of quiet were not neglect. The pauses were not denial. It was a process of purification, which now brings us to this important juncture. Have you ever felt as though you have been navigating the same challenges repeatedly, as though your efforts never moved the situation forward? as though the obstacles standing between you and a breakthrough are insurmountable? Share a truth that will resonate deeply within your spirit. Within a brief time from this instant, your circumstances are poised to undergo a significant transformation. This is not mere anticipation. It is a divine pattern unfolding. My chosen one, do you comprehend the personal implications of this truth for you? Your own barriers, those emotional walls, financial constraints, relationship patterns, inherited wounds, have been surrounded by your deepest longings and efforts, and now your seventh day is approaching. But allow me to ask you something of vital importance. What if the reason your breakthrough has not come is not because I am delaying, but because you have been navigating without fully embracing the instruction given? How much longer do you intend to bear a burden that was meant to be set down? How many more nights will you spend doubting your value when I have already affirmed it? This is your moment. Not to plead, but to believe. Not to ask for permission, but to activate your purpose. My chosen one, the period you are now entering is more than just the passage of human time. It marks the start of a divine era, a spiritual flow governed not by worldly time but by divine accord. These next few days are not ordinary. They hold the significance of aligning with divine purpose. Just as I brought forth creation in a period of 7 days, I am now preparing to reshape the landscape of your life, and somewhere within your spirit, if you are quiet enough to listen, you already know this is true. That stirring within you, that stillness cloaked in urgency, it is not just emotion, it is confirmation. Something eternal is taking place. Look closer. Can you feel the acceleration? Things in the spiritual realm are not just shifting. They are converging, moving at divine speed. What was stagnant is now being released. What was delayed is being dismantled. What stood as fixed and unyielding like old obstacles is poised to collapse when you respond. And the sole question now is whether you will align with the flow of this moment. Let me speak plainly. That difficult news that has troubled you, prepare for it to change. That loved one you have been concerned for, get ready, I am calling them near. That significant challenge or lack that has tested your inner strength, it is about to yield. Why? Because a promise was not merely a suggestion. It was a divine assurance. What is destined awaits its appointed time. It moves towards its fulfillment. It will not mislead you. Should it appear slow, be patient. It will surely arrive. It will not be delayed beyond its hour. Your appointed time is no longer distant. It is here. But I must be direct. Not all will experience this change, not due to preference, but because not all will respond. Some people will pass by these words as if they were just another fleeting encounter, but you were intentionally led here. You were called, and your continued engagement with this truth signifies your spirit recognizes something eternal being communicated. And I ask you now, my chosen one, are you looking for the signs that your change is near? Are you sensing your shift? Or are you about to cease your looking just before it appears? There is someone receiving this who feels weary. You have expressed your deepest longings until your voice felt strained. You have held on to belief when believing felt painful. You have watched others move forward while you have felt held in stillness. And you are tired, profoundly tired. But I say to you, your barriers are about to fall, and when they do, you will not just be free. You will be propelled forward. But there is one specific action of alignment needed in this moment. Take a moment wherever you are and acknowledge this day. That acknowledgement is not just a simple act. It is a spiritual seal. By acknowledging the specific day, you are declaring to the divine realm, I agree, I align, I accept. This is not for show. It reveals what is to come. You are anchoring your readiness in time. When that leader guided the people around the city, their steps were not random. They were measured, obedient, intentional. Your acknowledgement is your first step. It is your declaration. It is your inner strength in motion. Ask yourself with profound seriousness, can you bear to go through another season without seeing a breakthrough? Can your heart withstand repeating the same cycle of unfulfilled desires, tired awakenings, and silent sorrows witnessed by no one? I did not think so, because if you are still engaging with this message, it signifies that the divine realm has designated this particular day for you. This is not just another fleeting message. This is your divine appointment, recorded in eternal time long before your presence in this world. Take a moment to consider something of vital importance. Sometimes a pause is not truly waiting for my timing. It can be a form of not fully embracing my will. I know that is difficult to consider, but hesitation is often a quiet resistance cloaked in spiritual language. You may say you are waiting for confirmation, but in truth, sometimes you are holding back because you fear what complete obedience might require. Recall the challenge given to someone during a critical time. If they remained silent, then help and freedom would come from elsewhere, but they and their family would face repercussions. And is it not possible that you have arrived at your important position precisely for this moment? Did you grasp the truth? My purpose will unfold with or without your participation. The question is not whether I will act. The question is whether you will move with me and receive the reward intended for you. Let me bring this understanding closer with an example from life in a community years ago. There was an older individual who had felt called for decades to begin something for those who had lost loved ones, but they kept saying, "I'm not ready." Or maybe after a certain time, finally, just a short time before a significant health event, they began the group just a few weeks. Today, someone else guides the work they began in a moment of urgency, but it was intended for their own completion. They observe it from a distance, perhaps with a sense of what might have been. Do not let hesitation rob you of your reward. And this is not uncommon. I have observed individuals miss divine opportunities because they asked for signs, then disregarded them. People ask for clear understanding but become still when it comes. They ask for direction but pause when that direction necessitates action. My chosen one, the path I am opening for you now will not remain open indefinitely. Will you walk through, or will another complete what was intended as your lasting impact? Now, I am now going to ask you to perform a physical act, one that will indicate what is to come. Take something to write on. At the top, acknowledge this day. Underneath it, in clear letters, write these words: "No more holding back." This is not merely a phrase. This is your agreement with heaven. As you write those words, you are entering a reality that cannot be reversed. You are communicating to me. If I say proceed, you will proceed. If I say speak, you will speak. No more wavering, no more rationalizations, and no more apprehension appearing as carefulness. Let's be clear. When you align with divine timing, events begin to unfold rapidly. What you pursued for years will begin to align with you. Resources, clarity, restoration, connections, all of it aligns with forward movement. However, if you keep delaying, if you keep pausing when heaven calls, you begin training your spirit to disregard what I say. In time, the voice you repeatedly disregard becomes one you can no longer clearly perceive. My chosen one, this moment has moved beyond simply gathering knowledge. It is about making a decision. You are standing at a threshold like a people before a significant crossing. You can either remain in place, or you can step forward and witness the way being made clear. Your period of significant change begins now. Not in the future, not after you contemplate it, but right now. Acknowledge the day. Write the words. Make your declaration, because what is about to yield is not just a barrier. It is every lie that told you, you are too late. You are not enough. This is not for you. Those barriers are yielding, and when they do, you will not just walk into promise. You will walk into purpose fulfilled. My chosen one, let's make something absolutely clear. The choice is now yours. Your decision in the coming moments can influence what I accomplish through you in the future. Yes, it is that significant. The heavens are attentive, waiting to see if you will finally rise into the inherent worth that has always belonged to you. No more holding back, no more doubt, no more presenting yourself with false modesty when I have already designated you for a divine purpose. Allow me to pose a question that might challenge your current perspective. Who was it that convinced you you were merely common? Who persuaded you that you were only meant to exist to manage, to expect meager shares while others flourished? That voice did not come from me, came from the opposition. Its greatest deception was not convincing you that I do not exist. Its greatest deception was making those designated for greatness believe they were insignificant. And it succeeded until now. Perceive me in the spiritual realm and hear this message as if your entire existence relies upon it. For it does. You are not just enduring this life. You are not moving through existence with difficulty, hoping heaven will take pity on you. You are not here by chance, nor are you sustained by accident. You are a child of divine origin, a living expression of my intention. When you were born, the unseen realm did not murmur. They proclaimed it loudly, not because of your flawlessness, but because of your designated role. They knew something about you that you have forgotten. You carry the very essence of the divine. For too long you have lived beneath your inherent right. You have come to regard hardship as your definition, lack as your standard experience, and delay as your expected share. But I am saying to you with powerful clarity, enough. Did one facing a giant approach with the mindset of someone insignificant? Did one risk their life before a ruler out of mere survival instinct? No, they acted because they recalled their true nature. One remembered they were designated. Another remembered they were placed for a purpose. And you need to recall that you have been set apart. Hear this truth. You were not given a spirit of slavery that leads back to fear, but rather a spirit of relationship through which we are profoundly joined. This reveals more than just your freedom. It requires a change in how you view yourself. You are not one hoping to be noticed. You are my child, entitled not by what you have done, but by belonging. How many blessings have you watched pass by, not because they were not meant for you, but because you did not feel worthy enough to reach for them? Think deeply. When was the most recent time I attempted to give you something, but you persuaded yourself it was not meant for you? That opportunity, that connection, that platform, that restoration, did you withdraw from it, thinking, this cannot be intended for me? That mindset must cease now, because it has been costing you more than you realize. Let's be completely honest. Your uncertainty about your identity has not just affected your inner life. It has affected everything. Your well-being, because pressure and doubt have weakened your physical self. Your resources, because you have operated from a place of lack. Your connections, because you could not accept care you did not believe you deserved. Your purpose, because you have hindered opportunities before they even fully appeared. But here is the truth that changes everything. When you finally embrace who I say you are, the world around you begins to respond to your inherent authority. Challenges yield, paths open, restoration accelerates, resources flow. Not because your external circumstances change, but because your inner posture shifts. You are no longer seeking blessings. You are walking in them. This is not mere positive thinking or human effort. This is understanding your place in my design. You do not have to earn what grace has already given you. You do not need to qualify for what has already been provided. You do not need to convince me of what I have already declared about you. In this moment, I desire you to write these words on something physical. I embrace my true self. Simple words, yes, but they are shaking the foundations of opposition, because once you genuinely understand who you are, the force that tried to obstruct you loses its power. When you write those words, you are entering a reality that cannot be reversed. Doubt breaks, confusion lifts, uncertainty dissolves, because the individual who began receiving this understanding is not the same one who will conclude it. You are undergoing change through this divine insight, and such insight inherently calls for change. You are not without a connection to the divine. No more identifying with past difficulties. I do not see you through your history. I see you through the victory of belonging to me. Do you comprehend the immense significance of that?